succeeds me as Duke of Cornwall and takes on the responsibilities for the Duchy of Cornwall, which I have undertaken for more than 5 decades.
Prince William, who will one day be King of Britain, is reportedly furious after Princess Anne has finally stepped forward to reveal the king's dying wish.
I think for my brother, this is something he's been waiting for, and he's probably spent more time thinking about it and kind of knew what the rhythm of the year was. So things like that will change, and how we are part of the support for the monarchy may change slightly. Who knows?
Secrets long kept behind palace walls are now unraveling, and the stakes couldn't be higher. So, what exactly did the king want? And why is it sparking such intense drama among the royal family's most powerful players? Join us as we uncover this royal revelation that is about to turn everything upside down. Charles struggles as king. Queen Elizabeth II passed away in September 2022 after reigning for an incredible 70 years, the longest reign of any British monarch in history. When she died, her son Charles became the new king. But even though Charles had waited longer than anyone else in British history to take the throne, stepping into this role was harder than he expected. Charles had spent most of his life preparing for this moment. From a young age, he was always in the public eye because everyone knew he would one day be king. People watched everything he did, the decisions he made, the people he dated, and even the words he spoke. Living in the shadow of his famous and well-loved mother, Queen Elizabeth, shaped his whole life. He had always been ready to become king, but when the day finally came, he felt a heavy sadness and a huge weight of responsibility on his shoulders. His early days as king were far from peaceful. Instead of stepping into a calm and united royal family, Charles found himself surrounded by tension inside the palace. Outside, many people in the public were uncertain about his rule. Even the Commonwealth, a group of countries connected to the British monarchy, was beginning to question whether they still felt loyalty to him and the crown. King Charles wanted to bring changes. He aimed to modernize the monarchy to better fit the modern world. His plan was to make the royal family smaller by focusing on just a few active members who would represent the crown, rather than having a large number of royals. He hoped this would make the monarchy more efficient and meaningful. But not everyone liked these ideas. Some worried that having fewer royals would make the monarchy seem distant and less connected to the people. While debates about the monarchy's future continued in public, a more private struggle was happening inside the palace. In 2023, news broke that King Charles had been diagnosed with cancer. Though the royal family kept the details private, the announcement deeply affected both the public and the family. Despite his illness, Charles kept attending official events, trying to stay strong and steady for the nation. But those close to him noticed the changes. He looked thinner, quieter, and more tired. The confident and energetic man people once knew was now moving more slowly and seemed weighed down by the crown he wore. By early 2024, it became clear that Charles could no longer manage everything on his own. He slowly started to cut back on his work, and soon it was obvious he needed help. Other members of the royal family stepped in. Princess Anne, known for her hard work and dedication, began taking on more duties. She went to events, spoke publicly, and supported her brother in every way she could. Prince William and Catherine also took on more responsibilities, staying calm and composed even in tough moments. Though these changes were never officially announced, everyone could see that Charles was no longer the only leader. He was still king in name, but he spoke less, appeared less often, and often seemed lost in thought. Instead of looking like a powerful new ruler, Charles seemed to be quietly accepting his limits, reflecting on what he had already achieved, and realizing there were things he might not finish during his time as king. Throughout all of this, one person remained a steady presence: Princess Anne. She didn't seek the spotlight or ask for attention, but she was always there quietly supporting Charles. Her strength and loyalty became his anchor. Charles trusted her more than anyone else during these difficult times. She didn't need praise, her actions said everything. As Charles faced his health struggles and thought about what the future might hold, he began a deeply personal reflection, one only his closest friends and family could understand. It was the lonely contemplation of a king who knew that he might not be able to carry on alone much longer. But who exactly is Princess Anne? And why was she chosen to carry out the king's last and most important wish? Let's find out. The backbone of the monarchy. Princess Anne was born in 1950. She is the daughter of Queen Elizabeth II and Prince Philip, growing up surrounded by royal traditions and the responsibilities that come with being part of the royal family. But from a young age, Anne chose a different path than many might have expected. While some members of royalty enjoy being in the public eye, Anne preferred to work behind the scenes. She was not interested in acting like a fairy tale princess or trying to impress crowds. Her focus was on doing her duties well and helping others. For many years, Princess Anne has been one of the busiest members of the royal family. She attends hundreds of events every year, always showing dedication and seriousness in her role. Instead of seeking praise or applause, she has quietly built strong and lasting connections with the public through her many years of service. She supports countless charities and causes, working hard without asking for attention or rewards. One moment that truly showed her determination came in 1976. Princess Anne became the first British royal to compete in the Olympic Games. She took part in an equestrian event called eventing at the Montreal Olympics. Unlike some who might have relied on their royal status, Anne trained just like any other athlete. She worked hard, qualified fairly, and gave her best effort during the competition. Though she didn't win a medal, her participation proved something important. True success comes from effort and perseverance, not just from being born into royalty. Through the many changes and challenges faced by the royal family, Princess Anne has been a steady and reliable presence. While some members have found themselves caught up in drama or chasing the spotlight, she has stayed focused on her responsibilities. She chooses duty over luxury or personal comfort and always stays true to her beliefs and values. In difficult times, when the royal family faces uncertainty, her quiet strength becomes even more important. Though she may seem formal and reserved in public, those who know her well say she speaks honestly in private and earns their trust. Her influence may not be loud or obvious, but it is powerful and undeniable. What exactly was in this wish, and why did it shake Prince William so deeply? Let's take a closer look. The King's Dying Wish. Whispers of change began to quietly ripple through the royal family's inner circle, making the usually lively atmosphere around the monarchy feel strangely still and tense. People noticed that King Charles was missing from many important events, even skipping a recent private family gathering that usually brought everyone together. This silence made many feel uneasy, as if something important was unfolding but no one was saying it out loud. In the middle of this quiet, one voice stood out, calm, steady, and full of confidence. That was Princess Anne's voice. She has long been known as the most dependable and trustworthy member of the royal family. Anne never sought the spotlight or tried to draw attention to herself. Unlike some who crave applause or headlines, she quietly did her work year after year, attending more royal events than anyone else. Her strength came from being steady and responsible, always fulfilling her duties without fuss or fanfare. It was this kind of quiet dedication that made people listen carefully when she finally decided to speak. The family reunion took place in early 2025 at Sandringham, a place filled with history and memories. Prince William and Catherine were there, along with other senior royals, But King Charles was not. His health had been failing, forcing him to step back from his public duties little by little. He was too ill to attend the gathering, and his absence was deeply felt. Before withdrawing from the spotlight entirely, King Charles had given Princess Anne a very special message to share. This message wasn't about him or his achievements. It was about the future of the monarchy. That day, Anne spoke on the king's behalf with a heartfelt sincerity, not trying to impress anyone but simply telling the truth. She reminded everyone how Queen Elizabeth II and King Charles had once placed their hopes for the future not only on Prince William but also on Catherine. Anne spoke softly about how the Queen had admired Catherine's quiet strength, a kind of strength that doesn't seek recognition but quietly influences and supports. The Queen had noticed how Catherine stayed calm even during tough times, something she considered rare and precious. King Charles had felt the same way, trusting Catherine to stand by William and help guide him as the future king. As Anne spoke, all eyes were on her. William's face changed subtly, not shocked, but deeply moved. He had always relied on Catherine's support in private, and now hearing his father and aunt publicly express those feelings was something new and emotional. It was a reminder that others had seen and appreciated what he had known all along. What Anne said didn't come with drama or excitement, but its power was undeniable. The room grew quiet, sensing the importance of her words. Catherine, who usually stayed quietly in the background, had suddenly become the center of something very meaningful. Through all the ups and downs, Catherine had stayed true and steady. She earned the trust of the family, not with speeches or grand gestures, but with unwavering dedication and calm support. Anne's words highlighted Catherine as a crucial pillar of the monarchy as it moved into the future. When Anne finished, no one clapped. Instead, there was a shared feeling that something important had shifted. In that quiet moment, the king's message had spoken volumes. So, why Princess Catherine? Let's find out. Catherine Middleton. Catherine Middleton was born on January 9, 1982, at Royal Berkshire Hospital in Reading. She grew up in a close family that cared about traditions and working hard. Her parents worked in aviation. Catherine was the oldest of 3 children. She had a brother named James and a sister named Pippa. Her family was connected to the British upper class, and some of her great-grandparents had even hosted royal visitors. But on her mother's side, some relatives worked in coal mines. This mix gave Catherine a balanced upbringing, combining ambition with humility. When Catherine was 2 years old in 1984, her family moved to Amman, Jordan, where she went to an English nursery school. After a few years, they returned to England, and Catherine went to St. Andrew's School near Pangbourne. She enjoyed school and later lived there part-time as a boarder. In 1987, her mother started a mail-order party supply business called Party Pieces, which became successful and was run by the family. As a teenager, Catherine tried new activities and had many interests. In 1995, the family moved to Bucklebury, a quiet village in Berkshire. She first went to Down House School, then switched to Marlborough College in Wiltshire. Catherine was good at sports, especially field hockey, and even became captain of the girls' team. She earned a Gold Duke of Edinburgh award and joined different school clubs. She also had a small medical procedure on her head during this time. Instead of going straight to college, Catherine took a gap year. She studied in Florence, Italy, did a service project in Chile, and worked briefly as a deckhand on a boat. In 2001, she started university at St. Andrews in Scotland. She first studied psychology but later changed to art history. While at school, she worked part-time as a waitress and volunteered with a student charity. Catherine graduated with high honors in 2005, earning a master's degree in art history. In 2001, Catherine met Prince William at St. Andrews, which changed her life. They both lived in St. Salvator's Hall and started to connect. In 2002, Catherine took part in a charity fashion show at university, which caught William's attention. They officially began dating in 2003 and grew closer while studying. In their second year, they shared an apartment with friends, then later moved to a house together with 2 roommates. In 2004, they briefly broke up but soon got back together. After finishing school, Catherine faced a lot of media attention. Reporters followed her and her family closely, but she stayed calm and focused on her work. She had a part-time job as an accessories buyer at a fashion company called Jigsaw, and helped run her family's business by managing their website and catalog. Catherine often went to royal events to support William. She attended his graduation from the Royal Military Academy Sandhurst in 2006 and many family weddings and events, even when William was working. In 2010, they moved to a cottage in Anglesey, Wales, where William trained with the Royal Air Force. During a holiday in Kenya that year, William proposed to Catherine and gave her Princess Diana's engagement ring. Their engagement was announced in November 2010. Catherine joined the Church of England in March 2011 before their wedding. On April 29, 2011, they married at Westminster Abbey in a wedding watched by millions around the world. Catherine wore a beautiful dress designed by Sarah Burton for Alexander McQueen. She was then given the title Duchess of Cambridge. After the wedding, they received Anmer Hall from the Queen and lived in Nottingham Cottage in London. In 2013, they moved to a renovated apartment at Kensington Palace. Later, in 2022, they moved to Adelaide Cottage in Windsor. In December 2012, it was announced Catherine was expecting her first child. She had to stay in the hospital because of severe morning sickness. Their son, Prince George, was born in July 2013. Catherine had the same sickness with her next pregnancies, which made her take breaks from public events. Princess Charlotte was born in May 2015, and Prince Louis was born in April 2018. Catherine and William have created a loving home for their children. George, Charlotte, and Louis are now second, third, and fourth in line to the throne after Queen Elizabeth II. The family loves animals and has had 2 English Cocker Spaniels named Lupo and Orla. Princess Catherine's journey isn't without obstacles, as she is confronted with a serious health challenge. Will she overcome this? Let's explore further. Catherine's health struggle. Princess Anne has always been seen as a calm and steady presence in the royal family. She's someone people could count on to stay composed and reliable. But in 2024, it was Catherine, the Princess of Wales, who became the center of attention for a very different reason. She announced she had been diagnosed with cancer. Catherine is well known for her grace, kindness, and hard work. Yet suddenly, she stepped away from the public eye. At first, the palace said she was recovering from a planned surgery on her stomach, so everyone thought she would soon be back to her usual duties, smiling at events and meeting people as she always had. But days turned into weeks, and weeks stretched into months. Public appearances stopped. Prince William, her husband, began canceling his own events. No new photos of Catherine were released. No cheerful messages or updates came out. Everything grew quiet. This silence was hard to ignore. People noticed her absence and started to worry. Something felt wrong. Then, on March 22nd, Catherine appeared for the first time in Windsor, not wearing a fancy dress or posing for pictures, but sitting simply on a wooden bench. She looked calm but serious, with her hands folded gently in her lap. Speaking softly and clearly, she shared something deeply personal. She had cancer and was receiving chemotherapy as a safety measure. Her words were not just those of a princess speaking formally. They came from a real woman facing a tough, frightening challenge. Her smile was warm and familiar, yet her eyes showed a quiet strength mixed with vulnerability. This wasn't a royal statement. It was a heartfelt moment of honesty that moved people everywhere. Catherine showed herself not only as a princess, but also as a loving mother, a devoted wife, and a brave person confronting a difficult fight. There were no grand speeches or palace glamour, just the truth, and that truth connected with people around the world. Her openness gave hope to others struggling with illness and fear. It reminded everyone that even those who seem strong and perfect can face hardships, and that it's okay to share those struggles. Throughout this time, Prince William stood firmly by her side. Losing his own mother at a young age had left a mark on him, and now he was more determined than ever to protect and support his family. While still fulfilling his royal duties, he cared deeply for Catherine and their children, George, Charlotte, and Louis, offering them love and strength during a difficult time. Even when Catherine wasn't out in public, her passion for helping others did not fade. Her friends noticed she stayed quietly involved with the causes close to her heart, especially mental health and children's development. She may have been out of sight, but her commitment never wavered. Many saw Catherine's struggle and felt sympathy, but it's important to remember her strength didn't just appear overnight. She had been building it for years through acts of kindness, responsibility, and dedication to others. Even before becoming a royal, Catherine was already making a difference. In 2007, before marrying William, she worked with UNICEF to use photography as a way to show the struggles faced by children living in difficult situations. This wasn't about glamour or headlines. It was a sincere effort to help. In 2008, she raised £100,000 for the Oxford Children's Hospital by organizing a roller disco fundraiser. These efforts came from genuine care, not royal duty. When she married Prince William in 2011, her role grew bigger, but her heart stayed the same. Their wedding wasn't just about their love story, it was a chance to do good. Instead of asking for gifts, they requested donations to 26 charities, turning their special day into a moment of kindness. After that, Catherine didn't use her royal status to focus on herself. She used it to bring attention to important issues. Alongside William, she helped start the Royal Foundation, a charity focused on wildlife protection, support for military families, and mental health. But Catherine wasn't just a figurehead. She showed up, listened carefully, learned from people, and kept coming back. This made people see modern royalty differently. She proved that royals can be down to earth and truly connect with others. Catherine has shown a strong dedication to mental health. In 2016, she joined forces with Prince William and Prince Harry to launch the Heads Together campaign, which encourages people to talk openly about mental health. This campaign not only raised awareness, but helped change the way society thinks about mental well-being. She also supported the Mentally Healthy Schools program, which gives teachers tools to help children manage their emotion and mental health. Thanks to her work, schools and families have seen positive changes. Her passion for early childhood development is clear too. In 2021, she helped create the Royal Foundation Center for Early Childhood, highlighting how the first 5 years of life are critical for a child's future. In 2023, she started the Shaping Us campaign, encouraging adults across the country to support and nurture children with love and care. When she talks about this, she speaks with the gentle wisdom of a mother, the curiosity of a learner, and the determination of a leader. Catherine has also shown great compassion for children with serious health problems. Since 2012, she has supported East Anglia's children's hospices, and when she visits during Children's Hospice Week, she brings warmth and comfort that families truly appreciate. In 2020, she launched the 5 Big Questions survey, which asked parents and caregivers about early childhood. Over 500,000 people responded, helping experts understand how early experiences shape a child's life. Her work in these areas is not just thoughtful, It's carefully planned and heartfelt. Catherine doesn't just care, she acts to make real change. Beyond children and mental health, Catherine supports many causes. In 2015, she became patron of the Royal Air Force Air Cadets, a role she embraced with enthusiasm. She also helped start the Coach Corps, a program that trains young people to become sports coaches, promoting fitness, leadership, and responsibility. Her love for the arts shines through her work with the National Portrait Gallery, helping bring creativity to communities. Together with Prince William, she launched the Our Frontline initiative to support the mental health of emergency workers during the COVID-19 pandemic. What do you think about the King's wish? Do you see Princess Catherine as a potential threat to Prince William? Let us know your answer in the comments section. Don't forget to like and subscribe.